So again, I want to welcome everyone to our live Saturday morning presentation. As you can see by the opening slide, we're going to talk about skills to create interest. As we go into this coming week, there's many of us that are going to Utah for the Synergy Convention as they launch the new microbiome purify kits. And we're going to be able to come away with some great information. We're going to be able to have some additional tools and resources to be able to help us create customers, what I like to call gain clients and increase profits. And as we go through this presentation this morning, everything that we're going to talk about is designed to help you gain clients and increase profits. And as you can see by this next slide, I've got a statement here. Your success will depend upon how much you're willing to learn how to effectively market either nitric oxide therapy or the microbiome research to improve the health of people. Those are the two core marketing strategies that you have available to you. These two core marketing strategies will basically identify over 90% of the adult population. So almost every person that you come in contact with could benefit from this information. So coming back to the slide, there are two core marketing strategies that you have that will basically identify 90% or more of the adult population as people that you could help benefit. And as we go through this presentation, I want you to understand that in the slide, I want you to notice that we didn't say something. And what we didn't say is we didn't say about marketing the Synergy products or marketing the business opportunity. That's not what you want to do in the front end. You want to do that at some point in time, but as other people have learned how to apply this marketing strategy of nitric oxide therapy or microbiome research to create interest, what that does is it gives you the opportunity to create the relationship with solid information where they then begin to look at you as an expert, and in that process, develop that relationship so that you can let them know that our product of choice is ProArginine Plus, or our product of choice is the Microbiome Purify Kit from Synergy Worldwide, and here are the reasons for it. And we'll go through some of this as we go through today's presentation. So understand that if you can learn how to effectively market nitric oxide therapy or microbiome research, you will do you will be able to create greater interest than if you approach people on ProArginine Plus or the Purify Kit up front. And I can share with you David Munoz, when he has changed this whole marketing strategy where he used to market ProArginine Plus, now he markets nitric oxide therapy. And what he's learned from that process is, one, people have an easier time saying nitric oxide therapy than ProArginine Plus. And secondly, people are asking him about nitric oxide therapy. It resonates, and it has significantly increased his sales. And for those distributors that are underneath him that have applied the same process, it has significantly increased their sales because people are looking at nitric oxide therapy to address their concerns, and our product of choice is ProArginine Plus. We're going to apply that same technique to the microbiome research, create the interest. Our product of choice is the Microbiome Purify Kit from Synergy Worldwide. Now, today we want to cover the following items. What is marketing? Effective elevator speech, the art of asking questions, and proper follow-through. And we want you to see this as not just individual pieces, but we want you to understand that this is a collective process, that if you learn how to put the pieces together collectively, you'll be able to see even greater results. And results are gain customers, increase profits. That's the bottom line to your Synergy business. Because if you gain customers, you're going to help more people. And if you gain customers, you're going to increase profits, which will advance your Synergy business, create cash flow for you. Plus, that gives you a business story that you can then share with other people who might be interested in the business opportunity through Synergy Worldwide, and then you can show them a complete marketing strategy, help them understand what marketing is, help them identify either going through nitric oxide therapy as their marketing strategy, microbiome research as their marketing strategy, or the two of them can be done at the same time, depending upon how you want to structure your Synergy business. So what we want to give you today is these component parts that will significantly increase your ability to create that interest, leading to customers and profits. Now, let's understand what marketing is. It's real simple. All marketing is letting people know what you're doing. Now, the more that you learn certain skills, the better you're going to be at that marketing process of letting people know what you're doing. And as you incorporate these other skills, you're not only going to be able to let them know what you're doing, but you're going to be able to create interest in what you're doing, to be able to give them information that will resonate with them, to build a relationship through your follow-through that will allow you to present our product of choice and then help them down that pathway to better health. And as you do that and do your follow-through properly, you'll gain a client that will refer people to you. For example, just this morning, 5 minutes before I was supposed to come on to do this webinar, I got a call from a fellow by the name of Ron Mitchell, who was referred to me by a client whose last name is Mr. Carter. So I couldn't take Ron's information at that time because he wants to buy product, but I will call Ron back at the end of this presentation, because I have a client that has seen success with the products and has shared that success with other people, and people call me. I had a second call before this, Angela Hall up in Michigan, who again wants to get the product because someone told her about the product. Now, this is for nitric oxide therapy. It's not for the microbiome because I haven't done and deployed an effective microbiome strategy, which we'll begin to talk about 2 Saturdays from now and be able to help you understand an effective microbiome strategy for marketing. So this whole process, you just need to you need to understand and identify your marketing message and who your target market or your target audience will be. Now, when we look at nitric oxide therapy to help others reduce their risk for cardiovascular health concerns like heart disease and high blood pressure and diabetes, sexual and cognitive function issues and poor wound healing, or are you going to use nitric oxide therapy to address athletes for improved athletic training, performance, and recovery? You need to understand who your market is, who you're going to market to, and what things are going to resonate with them within your marketing strategy. So if we look at the microbiome, again, what is our strategy? It's to reset the gut health to more effectively address people who have autoimmune diseases, abdominal distress, irritable bowel syndrome, inflammation, lack of energy, weight management issues. So again, people in that category, if you're talking to them and they're sharing with you that they've got some of these types of issues, then nitric oxide therapy is not going to resonate with them, but microbiome research will resonate with them. So as you understand who your market is, you'll understand which of the 2 marketing strategies that you want to use to deploy to be able to create the interest and the opportunity to give them information that will speak to their needs to help you establish the relationship that gives you the opportunity to share our product of choice and why it's our product of choice and how it's helped other people just like the person you're talking to see improvements. So as you improve your health and the health of family members or other people that you're working with, you're creating product stories. And those product stories are going to either center on nitric oxide therapy or microbiome that you can use to socially justify these products and our product of choice and how they've helped other people who have issues just like the person you're talking to. That's why I have 2 referrals that I have to call back at the end of this presentation, because the people that they talk to have the issues that they have, and the people that they talk to have seen success in those issues being naturally improved, so they are interested in seeing the same thing happen to them. That's why they picked up the phone and called me. That's why if you apply these strategies, not only are you going to gain clients, but those clients are going to give you referrals. And I can tell you, I'm going to make a prediction. My prediction is that the microbiome research will create for you greater numbers of referrals than what nitric oxide therapy will do. And the reason why I'm going to make that prediction is because nitric oxide therapy, people can feel the difference internally, but most people cannot see the difference externally, meaning that that person feels the difference internally, has improved health, but when they're walking in the general public and the people who are around them, they most likely will not see the improved cardiovascular health that they're experiencing. But in the microbiome research, if you look at the latest testimonials that were posted up on the Synergy blog, as well as people who have shared 2 weeks ago when Jean LaValle was running or moderating the webinar on how people have improved their health through the microbiome Purify Kit, the results are not just internal, but they're also external. Meaning that when a person loses 20-some pounds or 14 pounds or 5 pounds, or they have an energy and a vibrancy about them that they didn't have before, people around them will notice that and will ask them, "You look great. What are you doing?" I can guarantee you that if you've gone through the microbiome program and have experienced those kinds of results, people are asking you what you're doing. And if you do that for your clients and they see the same kinds of results, people around them are going to ask them what they're doing. So you're going to see an even greater influx of referrals through the microbiome research using Microbiome Purify Kit from Synergy Worldwide. So what's your core audience? You know, if your marketing strategy is going to be nitric oxide therapy to address cardiovascular health concerns, what's your core audience? It's men and women age 45 and older. The two people who called me, they didn't give me their age, but I can tell by their sound of their voice that they're both 45 and older. One's a man, one's a woman. They're both 45 and older. That's the core, because they're the people who are suffering from cardiovascular health concerns. It's not the 20-year-old or the 25-year-old or the 30-year-old. It's the people who are 45 and older that are experiencing cardiovascular concerns. So these are the people that you need to be around and effectively market to. If you're going to look at athletic performance, how nitric oxide therapy can improve athletic performance, then your target market is men and women aged 25 and older who want to take their athletic performance to the next level. And if you want to market to them, then those are the people that you need to be around to effectively market to. If you're looking at the microbiome as your core marketing strategy and helping people reset their gut health, then your marketing population is men and women aged 25 and older. They're your core audience because people as young as 25 are experiencing abdominal distress, autoimmune diseases, weight management issues. So you have a audience that you can speak to in multiple platforms depending upon what you want to do. You know, so many people today are dealing with abdominal distress, and it has to do with our lifestyle eating patterns, the food choices that people are making. And you can now give them an effective program to reset their gut health to begin to eliminate many of those abdominal distresses and issues that they're experiencing by properly resetting their gut health. Now, one of the things that we also suggest is putting this in a marketing framework that can be used universally with every person you come in contact with. And the marketing framework that we suggest to you is what's called the Million Lives Project. Now, David Munoz has adapted that in the Hispanic community, and in the Hispanic community, it's the Hispanic Health Initiative. So he's changed the Million Lives Project to the Hispanic Health Initiative. And again, the whole process here is to put this into an umbrella that provides a mission that people can resonate with. So the Million Lives Project is to help 1 million people or more understand how they can effectively improve their health. So David has adapted that for the Hispanic Health Initiative to help our Hispanic population address the cardiovascular health issues that are compromising the health of our family and friends. So it's an overall mission statement that allows you the ability to have people resonate that, yes, that is a worthy goal, and how are you doing it? So it can be used both in a individual point or in an individual contact to create interest in a product for them personally, or it can be used from an overall concept to attract other people who are health conscious, want to help other people improve their health, and would like to be a part of the Million Lives Project and join you in Synergy Worldwide to harness this information to effectively help other people as they gain clients and increase profits. So you've got nitric oxide therapy for cardiovascular health concerns. You've got nitric oxide therapy for athletic performance. You've got microbiome research for health and energy. The Million Lives Project fits into each one of these categories. So how do you put this all together? How do you begin to string this information into an effective elevator speech? And all an elevator speech is just a short introduction that's designed to create interest for more information. It's not about telling people. It's about effectively sharing your mission with a question. That's the whole purpose of your elevator speech. Effectively share your mission with a question. So let's give you some examples. Now, you're always going to get asked in any type of social situation, because it's the easiest thing for people to do to break ice, so to speak, to what do you do for a living? You may ask a person, what do you do for a living? They tell you. They typically, unless they're so self-centered they don't care, they typically will ask you back, what do you do for a living? And so it gives you the opportunity. How do you answer that? Or if you're dealing with someone who has a health issue that fits into your overall marketing strategy, how do you put your marketing, your elevator speech in front of them in an effective way to be able to create interest? So here's some suggested elevator speeches that you can modify to your needs and environment. And for those that are on the call this morning or the live webinar, we're recording this information, so this will become available to you on Monday, that you can go into the recording and you can stop it at these different locations and you can write down these things. They're not long. Elevator speeches are not designed to be long dialogues. They're designed to be short statements with a question to create interest. So let's give you a couple examples. Someone asks you, what do you do? I'm part of the Million Lives Project, which helps people understand how nitric oxide therapy can be a natural way to address most cardiovascular health concerns. Have you ever heard of nitric oxide therapy? Or I'm part of the Million Lives Project, which is helping athletes understand how they can legally use nitric oxide therapy to increase their athletic training, performance, and recovery. Have you ever heard of nitric oxide therapy? Or I'm part of the Million Lives Project, which is helping people understand microbiome research and how it can reset their gut health and address abdominal distress, lack of energy, and weight management concerns. Have you ever heard of the microbiome and resetting your gut health? Now, those are 3 elevator speeches that the core components are basically the same for each one of them. It's almost like you just need to fill in the blanks. The red parts are fill in the blanks. The Million Lives Project stays the same, or in David's case, it might be the Hispanic Health Initiative, whatever you might want to call what you're doing, what your overall marketing strategy is. Nitric oxide therapy if you're focused on cardiovascular health concerns, or if you're focused on athletic training or the microbiome research. And then it all has a question. Have you ever heard? So when you look at this, again, this first line is basically the same. You just fill in the blanks, and it all comes back to a question. Have you ever heard of nitric oxide therapy? Have you ever heard of nitric oxide therapy? Have you ever heard of the microbiome and resetting your gut health? When you end with a question, and this is combining your elevator speech with a question. Once you ask that question, you just need to discipline yourself to remain silent to allow a person to respond. It's not about talking about synergy products at this point in time. That's going to come later. So when you ask that question, you're going to get one of two responses. You're either going to get a yes response or a no response. Seldom will you get a yes response. Maybe more often, most likely you'll get more yes responses for the microbiome because it's a hot topic in today's market, in today's what people are reading online. You'll most likely get less of a yes response for people on nitric oxide therapy. But here's the way that you would answer a person who says, yes, that's interesting, because most people have never heard of it. I'm curious, what's your understanding of nitric oxide therapy? Or I'm curious, what's your understanding of the microbiome and how you reset your gut health? And if you get a no response, which is what you're going to get more often for nitric oxide therapy, and I don't yet know what the response ratio is going to be for microbiome, you would say something that doesn't surprise me, since most people have never heard of nitric oxide therapy. Or that doesn't surprise me, since most people have never heard of the microbiome and how they can reset their gut health. Do you or anyone you know suffer from? So again, understand that I'm making a statement and then I'm coming back with another question. The art of asking questions is all about creating conversation that gives you information so that you know how to position the next question or the next piece of information or the next thing that you're going to offer them to solve their problem or give them information that could solve their problem. So if I've got a no response, that doesn't surprise me, since most people have never heard of nitric oxide therapy. Do you or anyone you know suffer from high blood pressure, diabetic complications, or cardiovascular disease? Or if it's the microbiome, that doesn't surprise me, since most people have never heard of the microbiome and resetting their gut health. But do you know anyone who suffers from abdominal distress, autoimmune diseases, or weight management issues? And again, once you ask that question, you want to discipline yourself to be quiet so that people can respond to you. And depending upon how they respond kind of takes you where you're going. If I'm working with an athlete, well, that doesn't surprise me, since most athletes have never heard of nitric oxide therapy. Are you interested in improving your athletic training, performance, and recovery? Now, that's typically going to be a yes or no answer. If it's yes, what would it mean to you if you could? And now that person can share with you what it would mean. That gives you valuable information on their desire, that if you have an answer for them, their desire to get that answer from you, that information from you that can take their athletic training, performance, and recovery to the next level, or address their high blood pressure issues. Or so you have high blood pressure. Do you use medications? Yeah, I do. Do you like being on medications? How do those medications make you feel? If I could show you a natural way by using nitric oxide therapy that could address the underlying cause of your high blood pressure and has the potential of helping you get off your medication, would you be interested in getting more information? So again, I don't have that written down. I just did that off the top of my head. But that's the art of asking questions, because you set it up with an effective elevator speech. a statement with a question that begins to create a conversation. And in that conversation, as you listen, not trying to sell ProArginine Plus or the microbiome kit, but listening for information shared with you so that you can ask the next effective question to gain more information to find out how they would feel if they had improved health, so that there's an emotional connection to want the information that you're going to share with them. So the goal is to get them talking about their health concerns or the health concerns of others, or to get them talking about their desire to improve their athletic training, performance, and recovery, so that you have something that you can offer them as a way to improve their health and or athletic performance. And what do you have to offer them? You have an ebook, either a nitric oxide therapy ebook or a microbiome research ebook, that you could say to them, well, I've got this fantastic ebook on nitric oxide therapy, and there's a video in there specific to athletic performance. Would you like me to send you the link to that ebook? And if they're interested, they're going to tell you yes, and then you can get their email address and their name if you don't know them, and their phone number to follow up with them to make sure that they've gotten the ebook and if they have any questions. Or if a person has abdominal distress, you know, we've got a fantastic ebook on microbiome research that will help you understand this area and how you could quickly reset your gut health to help address those abdominal distress issues that you've got. Would you like me to send you the link to that ebook? And if they're interested, they're going to tell you yes. And I've applied both of these strategies, and I can tell you the strategy is even more effective for the microbiome because people are tired of feeling abdominal distress. They know they have some level of abdominal distress. They know that some way their gut health is tied to their overall health, and they're searching for information in this area. In the process, as you do this, you're building a relationship with they're beginning to see you as an expert that they can trust because you didn't try to sell them ProArginine Plus, or you didn't try to sell them the microbiome kit. What you did is you offered them information that will speak directly to their need, and as that information educates them and you do proper follow-up with them, you'll continue to build your relationship and them seeing you as an expert they can trust. And then what would you recommend? Well, we recommend our product of choice, and here's the reasons why. Now, before I go into that, you can find these ebooks very simply online, oursynergyfamily.com/NO therapy. And that will take you to a generic ebook for the nitric oxide therapy. Or for the microbiome, it's oursynergyfamily.com/microbiome. So it's NO therapy for nitric oxide, microbiome for the microbiome research ebook. oursynergyfamily.com/NO therapy or /microbiome. You can also invite them to attend a live nitric oxide therapy or microbiome research webinar. We hold the nitric oxide therapy webinars on the second and fourth Tuesdays of every month at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. We do it on the first and third Tuesdays of every month for the microbiome, again at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. We have the links available to you. And again, if they don't want to attend or they can't attend, you can always have them watch the recording of the live webinar. There's a recording for the nitric oxide therapy webinar. I still have to finish up the recording for the microbiome. We recorded last Tuesday nights. I have to do some editing in that. That will be on our YouTube channel for our Synergy family sometime before I leave to go to the Synergy event this coming week. So before I leave Thursday to get on my plane, I'll have that on YouTube in our Synergy family. When you do proper follow-through, you can share testimonials in our product of choice. You can always share testimonials in the process of asking questions. Oh, maybe you've got a person with high blood pressure. Yes, I've got a client who applied nitric oxide therapy, took their blood pressure from 160/90 to 112/68. Or if you go on to the Synergy blog, you're going to see some fantastic testimonials with regards to what people have seen. Write those testimonials down. Remember, commit to memory 3 or 4 key testimonials so that you can use a testimonial throughout this whole process. You can use that through the start of the elevator speech, through the process of asking questions. As you gain information about an individual, you can share a testimonial that will relate to that individual's concerns, which does what? Increases the probability of them wanting to get information from you so that you have a reason to send them the link to the ebook and the ability to get their name and phone number so that you can begin to follow through with them to see if they got it, that they have a chance to read it, watch it, especially if you've directed them to specific pages in the ebook, like for nitric oxide therapy, athletic performance, going on memory right now, but I think that's page 12 where the video is, where I specifically send them to the right page and the right video. I would always go into the ebook and make sure that I had the information correct, that I would give them. Maybe you want to use in the microbiome research, page 10, triggers and symptoms to help them identify whether they have a leaky gut. You've got so much abdominal distress going on, or you've got autoimmune diseases like lupus. I bet you, your probability is pretty high that you have a leaky gut. What's a leaky gut? Well, a leaky gut, very simply, is just things are getting into your bloodstream that don't belong there because your gut lining is not doing its job. Now, we've got a microbiome research ebook that's fantastic that has a section in there that will help you understand what a leaky gut is, but it also has a page 10, that helps you identify symptoms and triggers, and the more symptoms and triggers you have, the greater the probability that you have a leaky gut. And there's a way of correcting that. Would you like me to send that to you? Again, it's understanding your tools and knowing how to position that information through the art of asking questions that address their needs. As you create this relationship, then within each ebook is our product of choice and the reasons why. Why is ProArginine Plus our product of choice? Well, it's been in the physician's desk reference now for the last 4 years. And the exact first line quote is, ProArginine Plus is the highest quality L-arginine supplement in the world. So the medical community recognizes us in this area. Additionally, we are the only clinically proven L-arginine supplement in the marketplace. We're clinically proven to produce higher levels of this nitric oxide than L-arginine alone. But more importantly, we're clinically proven to prevent vascular inflammation in 2 areas. Plus, they have 262 verified quality assurance steps so that I know that you, if you decide to use this product, are going to get the best product in the marketplace, as well as you're going to get reproducible results. And if you don't, it comes with a 120-day money-back guarantee. Those are the unique selling positions for ProArginine Plus. You don't need to do anything else but understand those 4 points. Now, I don't have this completely developed yet, because I'm hoping that we're going to see the research that has been done on the Microbiome Purify Kit. But basically, the general framework that I will be using is that we've chosen the Microbiome Purify Kit from Synergy Worldwide as our product of choice. It's a patented program backed by clinical studies designed to reset your gut microbiome in 7 days. Now, once I go through the convention next week and better see the slide presentations and understand Synergy's marketing components, I'll most likely have some adaptations to this to get this into the same type of framework as what I have for ProArchain Plus. This, and this. Being able to do the same thing for the microbiome. This, and this. This is what sets us apart from everyone else out there. Now, understand that marketing, effectively marketing, is not going to happen overnight. It happens over time. And in this process, the more that you're willing to implement marketing strategies to let people know what you're doing, the faster you're going to improve in your marketing techniques and skills. So don't beat yourself up when you deploy these things and they're not natural to you. These are skills that are learnable skills. You don't have to have a natural talent for this. If you do, you'll catch it faster. But it's not required. These are skills that if you apply these skills and you find that it didn't work very well, just like any athlete, you work on your technique. And the more that you work on your technique, the better you get at your skill. The more proficient you are in anything that you do, the greater the probability of a good outcome. So it's the same principle that you need to do. Just apply it. It's a learning process. But it's not going to happen unless you put in the effort. So with that said, let me go back up here, open up. So anyways, everyone is unmuted. Do I have any questions on any of the information shared this morning?
Hello, Dan. It's Donald.
Yes, Donald.
In light of the fact that some people are seeing results a little bit later than 7 days, would it be safe to say 7 to 14 days, 7 to 10 days? Well, on the microbiome, that is.
Sure. Yeah, I think it would be, because one thing I want to see is what Synergy shows us this coming next weekend or next Friday and Saturday. The other thing that I want to do is I want to do a 7-day plan and a 14-day plan. And, you know, it really depends upon what a person is looking to do. And so, again, before I go and give you an answer to that and look at it from a marketing strategy, because next Saturday we're going to do live from the event. And I don't know what that's going to look like. And then the following Saturday, we're actually going to do a marketing strategy for the microbiome. And in that marketing strategy, I will most likely have a better answer to your question. But yes, my gut feeling is yeah, I would agree with with your statement of looking at from a 7 to a 14-day.
Good enough, Dan. Thanks.
Okay.
Hey, Dan, it's Homer.
Yes, Homer.
I think that also with the marketing, the follow-through is so important. I mean, keeping up with your customers' needs and making sure that they're getting the answers that they're needing. I think that, doesn't that go along with the marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree with you. And Yancey sent me a statement, and Yancey, I completely agree with you. You know, Yancey's statement to me was this was much more polished and smoother. Yeah, because every time that you do something, you look at what you can do to improve to the point where you've got it down. When a person calls me on the telephone, I've got my system down. But I've been actively going out into the general public. 99% of my client base comes to me through the internet, through my YouTube videos. And so when a person calls me on the telephone, they already have an interest. I've already built a relationship. They are surprised to get me on the telephone. And so that relationship's already been established by the time that they call me on the telephone, and I can then identify their final questions and be able to answer their final questions. But one of the things that I've done is I've signed up for meetup.com, and I've gotten into several different meetup groups, and I've actually gone into the general public to be at those events. And I've not been using nitric oxide therapy. I've been wanting to gauge the interest in the microbiome research. And out of 5 people that I've engaged in so far, 4 out of 5 wanted the ebook. And the 5th person, I didn't get to the point in the conversation to ask them if they would be interested in getting the ebook, because the person got distracted by something else and we never came back to the conversation. So, you know, again, I want to go out in the general public and see how effective this process is. And what my experience is it's effective, and as I get better at doing it, it will be even more effective. Anyone else with any questions or comments before we say goodbye?
So Dan, this is Judy.
Yes, Judy.
And so I agree with you totally about the talking about the microbiome in public, and I'm getting a lot of the same results you are. There's so much more initial interest in the microbiome than there is in nitric oxide therapy, because I'll go back and forth. And, you know, although a lot of people will say, yes, my uncle, my cousin, my neighbor, they have a problem with heart disease. But people are saying, oh my gosh, I've had challenges for years. I'd love to, I'd love to hear more about it. So I think the microbiome is going to be much easier to get initial interest from. And, you know, and when we say we can reset the gut, that brings it up even more of a level, and talk about the patent and the process and how simple it is. People are asking for more information. We don't really have to ask them as much. So, you know, just like everyone else on the call, I'm excited for what Synergy is going to be saying next weekend, and what we're going to bring back with us for, you know, additional leverage that we're going to be able to use to sell the microbiome, and then, you know, eventually the Fortify kits and the maintenance kits.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is going to be a huge winner for Synergy worldwide. And if we can effectively do what you just talked about, Judy, help people effectively position the information, because the interest is overwhelming in this area, and then having good follow-through, as people reshape themselves through this program, it's going to create additional referrals far beyond anything that we've ever experienced in nitric oxide therapy. Thanks for sharing. Anyone else with anything that you want to share this morning before we say goodbye?
Dan, it's Donald again. Another comment. Although you mentioned abdominal distress and stuff like that, one of the things that's been touted these days, which is really, to my mind, the same thing, irritable IBS with diarrhea or constipation. And isn't that part of our market? I'm sure it is. Huge.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that there's a large market out there for people, but if I say, do you have IBS, and they don't, then they don't understand. But if I say, do you have any kind of abdominal distress, well, you know that abdominal distress incorporates all those other issues, whether it be irritable bowel syndrome, whether it be celiac disease, whether it be whether they don't digest things properly, maybe they have gas, maybe they have they have additional stomach acid. I mean, there's just so many things that abdominal distress will cover, as opposed to just talking. So if they, if you ask the person, do you or anyone you know have abdominal distress, and they say yes, then you could come back, Donald. My suggestion would be come back with the question, well, what kind of abdominal distress are you experiencing?
Absolutely.
And then if they say, well, I've got irritable bowel syndrome, then you can say, well, gosh, you really need to get our fantastic ebook on the microbiome research, because that's an area that if you learn how to reset your gut health, could most likely help you see some significant improvements in that area. And if you've got that issue going on, you also most likely have a leaky gut that's causing other issues within your body. You really need to get our ebook on microbiome research. Would you like me to send that to you, Donald?
Absolutely. In other words, IBS is just a symptom of the overall scheme of things.
Well,
that's what I'm hearing.
Well, it's like what autoimmune diseases. I could say, do you have lupus? No, but they may have rheumatoid arthritis. Well, that's an autoimmune disease. So if I said to a person, do you or anyone that you know in your family have any types of autoimmune diseases? If they give me a yes, then I can come back and say, what particular one do they have? Well, I've got fibromyalgia, or I've got lupus, or I've got rheumatoid arthritis. Or, so then, by using an overall category to create a yes, then I can drill down specifically by asking the question, which autoimmune disease or which abdominal, what's your abdominal distress? And from there, begin to help them see, okay, with regards to rheumatoid arthritis, there's a whole emerging science that's showing that your gut health and how it creates toxins is really driving that issue. And we've got a fantastic ebook on microbiome research that will help you understand how if you reset your gut health, you could address your rheumatoid arthritis more effectively. Would that be something that you would like me to send to you?
Pretty powerful, thanks.
Yeah, so thank you, Donald, for bringing those individual things. And to me, what does that individual thing, what is the overall category that it fits in? And if you ask the overall category, you'll most likely get a higher probability of a yes, which then allows you to ask specifically, what is your specific issue in this category? And then you can begin to position microbiome research as a way to naturally address that health issue.
Just quickly again, Dan, the reason why I brought that up is that I went to the doctor this week, early Monday or Tuesday, and he scheduled a colonoscopy, and I did, looking for enterologists, and I mean, I was bombarded with Crohn's disease sites and
sure,
and all kinds of stuff that related. So
yep,
it kind of triggered the question that I just posed to you.
Yeah, comment. And Donald, your search for that, the category of colonoscopy shows you all the other places out there that people are experiencing. That's why when I made my statement at the beginning of today's presentation, nitric oxide therapy and microbiome research is going to cover 90% or more of the adult population in America. I mean, the marketplace is huge, people. And if you want to specifically become the expert in one area, like Crohn's disease or irritable bowel syndrome, you could do that, because there's such a market of people who are searching for answers because the health issues that they're suffering, they don't want to experience. They're looking for a way to solve their problem. And we can't tell them that we're going to cure their problem, but we can tell them that microbiome research could be a potential answer to addressing the underlying cause of their health issue. So let's stop treating symptoms and let's get down to the underlying cause. That's what microbiome research is all about. Nitric oxide therapy is about addressing the underlying cause, endothelial dysfunction, and not treating the symptom.
You got it. Thanks.
You're welcome. Anyone else with anything before we say goodbye? All right, I want to thank you for your time today. Next week we'll be live from the Synergy event. I'm not sure exactly what that's going to look like. Hopefully we'll be able to connect properly through the Zoom platform. I've got one more comment here, I think. Question? Oh, just a thanks. You're welcome. All right, thanks everyone. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye now.